What is up, Moral Dilemma Nation? Said that last episode, but to them it's probably 2 episodes ago.
Sounds good.
What is up, everyone?
We're just reinforcing the idea.
Yeah, we're going to reinforce it. Thank you so much for watching another episode of
Moral Dilemma.
Yes.
I like the hard part.
Before we begin, we have a very special announcement that has to do with Corey's mom. Corey's mom, Sharon Newland.
We are so proud of you.
We are so stinking proud of you, Mrs. Newland.
I'm impressed.
Because Mrs. Newland, that's what I'm going to call her, because she was my second grade teacher. She got the word of the day, and it was, what, Tyler?
Yeah, it was Tyler.
Yeah,
That's weird.
So we're going to get you a prize soon. We might even send you one of our members to have as a son.
Yeah.
We really care about you that much.
You know what?
We
Plot
might,
twist, it's
we
Eric.
might even get you a daughter-in-law.
Ooh, we might.
That's a lot to ask for.
Yeah.
I think we can do it.
I think we can do it.
The son is Eric and the daughter-in-law is Shelly.
Seems like just yesterday she was teaching me about the Mayflower.
Oh, dude, that was a good lesson. I remember that. She also taught me cursive, which probably 2 years later I completely forgot how to use.
You know, Sharon's impacted my life because I drew a colonial-style home as an art project in her class for history, and she uses it as an example to this day.
Oh, wow.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I didn't
shout
know
out
you
to
were an
Sharon.
artist. Are you an artist?
No, not at all. That's why it's so touching.
Oh.
She kept that
I'm going to give
fine-
a quick Corey's mom story. When I was in her second grade class, she decided to make the class theme frogs.
Oh, I remember that.
And all the kids, including me, were in love with this. I think she had 2 little tree frogs.
She did.
One day we went in, and both of the tree frogs had climbed up into the top of the cage and got inside the heat lamp. And we came back the next day, and they were all crispy and dead.
Yeah.
It was traumatizing.
Fun fact about that, I was 2 years older, so the kids in the class didn't actually see the crispy frogs, but I was responsible for cleaning them out.
I saw a crispy
and
frog.
I found them first, I remember. Maybe it was the second one.
You've
It
probably
might
never
have been.
been
I
the
think
same.
I think it happened to a couple people.
They would like climb up the walls and then like climb across the cage top. And one of them like got its foot stuck. The first one, the one I cleaned out, got its foot stuck in the cage top right next to the lamp.
Poor guy.
So it kind of turned into like a potato chip. Like it was really flat and dry and crispy.
It was tasty too.
Yeah.
Eric.
You tried it out?
A frog chip. Oh yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
Oh. Well, speaking of tasty foods.
Man, second grade was a good. Yes, like Logan said, we have a very fun episode. We're gonna kick it off with talking about some grub, some food. We're gonna talk about our fast food techniques. I was confused on this topic until I got here, but now I see the beauty of it because everybody fast foods differently, and there's a lot of techniques that people have.
I think the subtitle really sums it up too, because I didn't see that before. Deals, tricks, and that's how we roll.
True. See, that's what confused me because what it actually says is deals, tricks, and that how we roll.
Oh,
And I was like, I have no idea what's going on
so
here.
I forgot the yes in that,
Yeah,
so I apologize.
and it threw me for a loop. But yeah, we're gonna be sharing some fast food tips that you can use and thrive because we are some experienced fast fooders.
Yes.
And
Every Sunday night seems like we get some fast food. And then
Mhm.
that doesn't even count what we all do separately throughout the week.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know Logan was taking notes on his iPad before this. You want to kick us off?
Oh, gosh. Wow, you're asking a lot. All right, people here.
He's got to get prepared.
He's gonna get
He's
prepared.
opening the iPad
I'm
right
about
now.
to...
He's putting
I'm
on his
about to
reading glasses.
I'm about to introduce you to something that will completely solve all your financial struggles.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Logan is the Dave Ramsey of Wendy's.
Dave Ramsey actually recommends this. It's such a good deal. So, Wendy's.
Sponsor us, Dave Ramsey.
That would be really good. That's like best case scenario, honestly. So Wendy's, we all know it, we all love it.
We all love her.
You know, my entire family hates it.
Are you serious?
Seriously.
Don't you love Wendy's?
Wait a-
Oh, I
shoot.
love Wendy's.
Way to shoot down my intro.
I'd
by
be
the way.
there every day if I could.
So you love it. Thank you.
Yes, I do.
That's where we go to meet and talk about internship
Yes.
stuff a lot. So, and also there's a few people who go to our church who
Oh,
go
yeah.
actually every single day.
Yeah,
and
they go
when
every
I say
day.
every day, I mean like they're there same time
Well,
every day.
the Wendy's by our place is kind of like the like meetup place for a lot of old people.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like their hangout
That's all.
spot.
That's part of why I
We
like it
just
so
offended
much.
our older crowd.
If we have an older crowd, thank you for watching. I doubt there's any older people watching.
Man, you're probably so confused.
If someone is playing this for Earl Heft right now,
Because
please,
if
please
it-
like
Earl
this.
Heft is a local crispy
If there's
guy.
an old
You know,
person watching right now after our conversation about the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, when Eric started using the word teraflop, I guarantee they just logged off.
They're like,
Facebook.
what is this?
Like, what is a teraflop?
Like, why are they talking about flip flops?
All right, we got a little.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Let me get into the juice of this, all right? The Wendy's 4 for $4, people need to really hear these numbers to realize the deal they're getting here. If I'm going to talk about the 4 for $4, then I'm going to talk about something that makes it interesting. 4-piece chicken nuggets, $1.29 each.
This is before the 4 for 4, right?
Yeah, he's
This
separating
is
out
this
the
is
cost
individual.
Of each thing.
This is the cost and breakdown. This is the cash flow analysis of the 4 for $4. The double stack is $2.09. Small fry, I spelled fry wrong, $1.69.
Okay.
Drink, 99 cents. Add that puppy up, that's $6.06. No tax involved here. And tax, you're like, oh, whatever. Tax was a big deal. That adds quite a bit when you're talking fast food.
Is there tax on fast food?
If you dine
Paul.
in Ohio, then no.
Oh.
But if if it's takeout,
if you dine in
there
the
is
food,
tax.
there's no food tax, but there's tax on soda. So like if you get a pop when you dine, or at least that's how it was. Because whenever I was in high school and worked at Subway. Loved my time there. You didn't get taxed on any of the food, so if you ran like a $5 footlong deal or whatever, it was exactly $5.
Then you got the
But
drink.
if you get a drink, the cost the drink is taxed, and that's only if you eat it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So, yeah, anyway.
Might be different now, but
Corey's spitting straight Subway facts.
So here's what I'm saying. The 4 for $4, getting that for $4, $6, getting it for $4, that's a good deal. Now for me, I kind of eat a lot. You know, I'm trying to gain some weight, I'm getting into all this gym stuff. And if you just get 2 4 for $4s for $8, I call it the 8 for 8. Eric can testify to this. That's what I get it when I go to Wendy's. That's pretty much what I get.
It's a lot of food.
It is a lot of food. You're talking 8 chicken nuggets. You're talking 2 double stacked cheeseburgers, 2 drinks, and then 2 small fries.
2 drinks.
2 smalls. Do you make that a medium or do you make that a large?
What the
If you take 2 small fries, is that equivalent to a medium?
I almost think that would be a large.
So wait, I'm confused. Are you talking about your extension onto the 4 for 4?
No, I'm just talking getting 2 4 for
He
$4s.
just gets 2 for $4.
It fills you up. It fills you up way more than you need to.
It's still cheaper than getting a number 1 combo, right?
Probably.
Which was just
Well,
one sandwich.
if you were to divide all that food out, that's $12.12 for all that food separately, and then you're getting it for $8.
Yeah.
And they give you 2 drinks. Now here's a catch. One day Eric and I are in Wendy's, and this was crazy. The lady started to notice my 2 4 for $4 meal, and she was like, "Hey, can I just give you 1 medium drink instead of
No. I want to get credit for this because I said,
Well,
you know what you should do?
We were up there at the counter.
Yeah, we were up
Okay.
there together.
Same thing.
And
yeah.
I said, you should just ask for a large drink.
And she heard you.
And she heard me
Yeah.
say it. And she's like, sure.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, it
Dang.
saves the company money.
Yeah.
Because instead of giving 2 separate drinks, it's just 1 cup.
And it saves the environment.
And it saves the environment,
So
which I
everyone's a
didn't
winner.
really care about.
I had to throw it out there.
Now Eric cares.
Yeah, I
what I'm
care
saying
now.
is that's a lot of food, and then getting that medium drink to the cherry on top
Oh, yeah.
that's crazy. And I also think that's so much food that it's also a ministry idea. When you have too much food, just give it off to someone else.
Yeah.
Tell them you love them. I don't recommend that.
Of course, when you go like me and buy your meal, and you find out like, oh, you're spending $8, and I'm spending $4 because I'm going to go the really cheaper route of getting the 4 for 4.
It's just not enough.
That's all I
food.
eat.
The 4 for 4 is great. Don't get me wrong. It's a good
It's just not quite enough.
That's a snack for me almost. I can take that puppy down in a few seconds. But an 8 for 8 is like I gotta slow down midway through. I'm like, okay, I gotta start redevising a plan on how much food I should be eating. That's a great deal though.
Also, Logan, for a comparison, I did some fact checking for you.
Oh, yeah?
A Dave's single with cheese combo meal, and the normal combo meals come with the like small drinks.
Drum roll, please.
$6.19. That's one cheeseburger,
Oh,
a small
shoot.
fry, and a small drink, and it's
Dang.
almost as much as your 8 for 8.
Exactly.
You're gonna shut down Wendy's if you keep talking about this.
I'm telling you,
No,
I
that's-
am an
that's-
advocate for the 8 for 8. I've talked about it a lot. A lot of people know me for the 8 for 8 deal. And sound guy Adam knows about it. Eric knows about it.
So everybody knows about
Everybody knows
all
about
two
it.
people know
All
about
of
it.
Logan's friends know about it.
it. All the important people know. Eric and Adam.
So if I could drop this mic, I would, but someone else try and top that. All right.
I like that.
All right, I'm gonna slide in because
Are you getting sliders?
I do think that I might have something.
Eric, that
might
was
be
the
able to top
cheesiest thing ever. Cheesiest thing.
this. Oh my gosh! Wow, that was nice fist pump, guys.
Thank you.
All right, so mine. I also like Wendy's, and I'm gonna give a brief thing on what I get at Wendy's. I get the 4 for 4, but there's no way I could eat 2 4 for 4s, just personally. But
Takes practice.
I always get a 4 for 4, and then add one of those $1 chicken sandwiches on there.
Yeah.
No mayo,
You're just
obviously.
talking $5 right there. That's still good.
And $5, that's a lot of food.
Wait a second. Why no mayo?
I don't want to get into why I think mayo
Just
shouldn't
don't talk
exist.
about it.
It's just not natural. No one likes it. Even if you think you like it, there's no way that you like mayo. You're just wrong.
This is where
really
Ryan and I disagree because
Anyone-
I love mayo.
Well, you don't. Deep down inside, your body doesn't though.
See, I
I
like.
do.
I prefer Miracle Whip, but I'll eat mayo.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
even.
let's change topic.
Yeah. But anyway, so
Slapping a chicken sandwich on a 4 for 4, eh?
Yeah, I always slap the chicken sandwich on there. But my favorite restaurant is Taco Bell, and
Restaurant.
every time I go to Taco Bell, I used to be the kind of guy that would go and just get the box deal, which is good. But I was starting to run into the problem where either I was getting tired of the box deal because I think they have the same one like for like 2 months, and I kind of get tired of it.
2 months, you get tired of it.
We go to Taco Bell a lot.
Yeah, I gotta talk
I
about
thought you
a
were
lot.
gonna say like for a year.
Yeah.
It's 2
And then,
months.
and then sometimes the box deals just aren't good. Like I think they have one where it's just like just a chalupa and then
I don't
a
think-
soft
I
taco.
think the box right now is pretty good.
There's
Chalupa,
not
you
enough
get-
love in it. When
you
someone
get
orders a box, I
burrito.
feel like the people back there are just like, oh crap, another
Yeah.
box deal, and they
So
just
here's
throw it together.
So here's what I do. I think that
Oh,
Taco
you want your
Bell's
food made with love?
Who doesn't?
If-
Wendy's does. Sorry, Ryan.
if you want your food made with love, don't go to Taco Bell. It's just hate. But I love it. But I think that Taco Bell has the best dollar menu out of any restaurant.
Yes.
They have a
Yep.
really big dollar menu. It's consistent. They don't change it. They don't scare you. And I'm gonna give scary by changing it up
Okay.
because it's happened to me before. Like I went to
Whoa.
order like a $1 cheeseburger somewhere one time and they didn't have it, and then it just kind of shut me down. But my favorite thing at Taco Bell is the spicy potato soft taco, which is $1.
I second that.
So whenever I go to Taco Bell, I usually get 2 spiced potato soft tacos, and then either a cheesy bean and rice burrito, which is also $1, and it's huge, or a beefy Frito burrito, which is also $1.
That's
So that's
Fantastic
3
menu.
to 4 things for $4. It's like a 4 for 4. You do have to buy a drink though, but if you go at like dinner time, I think like what is it, like 1 to 5 is happy hour. You can get one of those freezes for like $1. So that's $5. You get a freeze, like a icy thing. But what I'm really gonna drive home here is that the spicy potato soft taco is the best food you can get at a restaurant, fast food, and I'm gonna stand by that. If the next time you go to Taco Bell, get the spicy potato soft taco, and it will change you.
I'm pretty sure they call it, like, if you're talking specific item, I'm pretty sure it's the spicy loaded grill.
No, it's the spicy potato soft taco.
It
That's
is.
different.
There's a
just
difference?
there's
Yeah.
difference.
Okay, but they're on the dollar menu, right?
The loaded griller's not.
It's a
Okay.
little bit more than $1.
Okay, never mind. I'm a big fan of the Frito burrito on the dollar
Yes,
menu.
I like that one too.
It's
Also,
good.
before people get offended, I think Ryan and I should clarify. We've had this conversation before. I hope you still stand this way. We don't classify restaurants as like Chick-fil-A as normal fast food.
Yeah, that's
So like
luxury.
that's like one great, because once you go to college, you realize that like when you're paying for it yourself. Chick-fil-A is not really fast food. It's a little too
It's
expensive
a
for fast
luxury.
food.
Fast
is.
It's a luxury fast food.
You
Okay.
splurge.
Like you can take someone on a date to Chick-fil-A and it still feels like a date. But like if you go to Taco Bell, it's like
You're losing
it's
that
not-
woman.
You're losing. You're either losing the woman or she already said yes when you asked her to marry you.
Yes.
So
You're
she-
either locked in or you're about to lose your ticket to
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
So when Ryan says this spicy potato soft taco is the best thing that he thinks you can get at a fast food restaurant, we're going to discount things like Chick-fil-A and like there's a couple other fast food restaurants that are like kind of one
Steak
tier
and Shake?
above.
No.
Okay, Steak and Shake is special though,
Yeah.
even though
Because
they're
you sit
kind
down,
of
there's
down.
a waiter.
But
Yeah.
it's so cheap.
They drove their own
Yeah.
business to the ground. Everything's so
yeah,
cheap there.
rest in peace.
They're not coming back, are they?
I don't
No.
So sad.
I don't
That
think
was Earl
so.
Heff's favorite.
I think
Shout
they were.
out to Earl
I
Heff.
think they were going down
Qdoba.
pre-COVID.
Qdoba?
I think they were falling pre-COVID.
I think it's just the
Moe's.
location though, isn't it?
I went to Moe's today, Eric.
Yeah.
I went to Moe's.
It's
Today.
just-
Moses
just
is
the-
what I would say. Is that's kind of fast food. But
It's like a step above. It's like
Penn Station.
That's
Penn
luxury.
Station's
Moe's is
above.
definitely a luxury
Yeah.
fast food.
Also, right before I pass it on, another hack that I just thought of that I used to do a lot is I also love Chipotle. I love fast food stuff. And back when I really didn't care about the carbs, what I would do is I'd order a burrito bowl, which is a set price. But then on the side for free, sometimes they don't give it to you for free, but I would usually get it for free. I'd kind of work my way in there, a little stealthy. But you get two.
You actually get behind the counter.
Yeah, you get two soft shell burritos, or just the shell, and then you take
Tortillas.
your bowl and you make your own burritos, and they'll give you enough stuff in the bowl to fill two burritos all the way up, and you just pay for one.
Ooh.
So that's another
and
thing.
then you can take one home.
Yeah, you can take one home, or you can just eat both of them there. Like
Yeah,
I
but that's
usually
usually a lot.
do.
All right,
But
Corey.
yeah, that's mine.
What is
Okay,
it?
so I've assumed that people were gonna go for the 4 for $4. So I love Wendy's deals. So I'm gonna go with an alternate deal that I also think is very good.
Wendy's?
there. Wendy's.
Ooh, I'm
Okay,
hearing-
so Wendy's also has a 2 for $5 chicken deal. And the 2 for $5 chicken deal, like whenever you order the 4 for $4, like you were saying,
grilled
how
or
it's
deep
kind
fried.
of, they're all fried. on
Okay,
this.
okay, keep
But whenever you order the 4 for $4, we've already talked about how they're kind of like, it kind of feels like a snack size. Well, the chicken deal, you can either get the home style chicken sandwich.
Home child.
Yeah, the home style chicken sandwich, the spicy chicken sandwich, or a 10-piece nugget, and there are any combination of two of those. But the sandwiches of those are so much bigger than the 4 for $4 ones.
Yeah.
So I really like the spicy chicken sandwich.
There you go.
can get two of those for $5, and I don't really I'm not huge on fries. Like sometimes I like fast food fries.
Fries are big for me, man.
But they're also cheap. You can get a small fry for 99 cents if you want. But the sandwiches themselves are so much bigger, I think, in my opinion. So you're getting two full size, more expensive sandwiches for $1 more than the 4 for $4.
There you go.
And if I eat that, just the sandwiches, or a sandwich and a 10-piece nugget, I feel more full eating that than eating a 4 for $4.
Word.
So that's my alternate deal at Wendy's. One other quick little deal I like.
Ooh, Corey's got screenshots on his phone.
I do. I did a lot of research for all of our topics today. I just want to say.
Got pictures.
My other thing that I like is I've heard so many people say that the fountain Coke at McDonald's is so much better than anywhere else.
I would agree
Now,
to
this
that.
is-
Shelley
is-
doesn't like that. She doesn't think it tastes very good.
Yeah,
Oh,
there are a
really?
lot of people that say that. I don't drink regular Coke since I'm a diabetic. I drink the Diet Coke.
Yeah, I was going off diet.
Yeah, but their Diet Coke I think is the best Diet
Really?
Coke.
I agree.
Really. The only pitfall I have to that is I really like Coke Zero better, and they don't have Coke Zero there,
Yeah.
so that's kind of a drawback for me. But their drinks, they made it so that all of their drinks, every size, are $1.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you can buy a large drink. When you walk in and you're
The only
I
thing
want a
is,
small
did you
drink.
notice that they changed the size of their large?
They did, but I think they were getting a lot of complaints because they used to use those large styrofoam cups,
Yeah.
and a lot of people were breaking the styrofoam cups and spilling them. I actually have a story. I did that before with the sweet tea. I was picking up a sweet tea. I can't remember. I was in high school and I was in town for a doctor's appointment or something. I was on my way back, and my friend asked me to bring him a drink. And I was getting into my car from the McDonald's, and like as I opened my door, I shoved my thumb right through the side, and it went all over my car. So personal preference, I actually like the plastic cups better. But like if you walk in most of the time, or most of my experiences, if you say like I want a small drink, they'll be like, you can just have a large, it's the same price. And I love that because
that is very inspirational to me when the person at the drive-thru notifies you of a better deal.
Yeah.
Like God bless those people.
Yeah.
If you're watching, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Because
Well, that is true, because I've like, I like to have a bacon cheese biscuit sometimes, and sometimes they have the deal where you have 2 for $5 or 2 for
And they'll
$4.
let you know.
It's a 2 for $4 deal, right? No, sometimes it bugs me because they'll charge me for everything separate. Like I got a biscuit, bacon, and cheese, and all those extra charges. It's not going to make it 2 for $4. It's going to be like $6.
Yeah.
So I get frustrated because I'm like, no, I'm asking for this. This is what I usually have to do. I want the bacon, egg, and cheese, but I have to say no egg,
Oh,
and that's what I have to do to get my
Eric,
deal.
what's your fast food hack?
Well,
Oh, yeah,
Corey
sorry.
didn't finish
Oh,
up.
I
I kind of.
I was just gonna say that deal for me, especially when they notify you. Like,
Yeah.
it's frustrating when they don't, like Eric said. But most places now, a large drink is like $2. It's more than $1, and like a small even, it's like $1.29. But going to McDonald's and getting a large drink for $1, I think is just like
It's a lot of
perfect
liquid.
deal.
It's great, but the only option, the only thing that bugs me is like their options as far as drinks are really slim, and I probably understand why because they are creating a good deal, but they don't. The only diet they have on the menu is Diet Coke,
Yeah.
and they have Dr Pepper, but they don't have Diet
Well-
Dr Pepper.
well,
That would be a great alternative.
Yeah, and the thing is with that too is especially now that Coke has branched out with all of the like zero options they have, like with the Sprite Zero, Coke Zero, even with the marketing with Diet Dr Pepper, they have so much potential for a different caliber, but they just don't go there. So
Well, that is one of the nice things about Wendy's. I mean, even though I get annoyed because sometimes there's that one machine that you go to, but you get a lot more choices with
yeah,
your
the
selection.
freestyle machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever tried Dave's orange cream soda
On the
Yes.
freestyle machine?
on
Yes,
the free
it's so
machine?
good.
It's good.
I'm a big cream.
You're
root
big
beer.
cream.
So you gotten cream
Cream.
soda root beer?
Root beer. Yeah, the creamy root beer is really good.
I've never tried it. Okay, so some of the things I'll tell you, the best coupon deals, if you ever collect
Ooh.
coupons, and maybe this is something later in life, Burger King has the best coupon
Oh, really?
deals. Yeah, like they have 2 chicken sandwiches, like the long version of the chicken sandwich, and 2 fries for like 2 for $4. That's a great deal.
It is a great deal.
So if you get coupons and hold on to some Burger King coupons, not just that deal, but they have a lot of good deals.
Yeah.
If you're a college student and you want to save some money,
Yeah.
look out and ask your parents for Burger King coupons.
Just
Arby's,
to
yeah.
plug off that too, Eric. You said like two of those chicken sandwiches for $4 or whatever with the fries.
Yeah.
That's actually my favorite thing to get there. And just so everyone knows how amazing of a deal that is, if you just get that meal, it's like $8
Exactly.
for that meal.
Yeah.
It's like $7.60 something, I think.
Now you don't get a drink, but a lot of times if you're taking it on the go or something, you just get it. And
Yeah.
Don't worry about your drink or ask for a water.
Yeah.
So it's a great deal. Biggest thing for me is, I'll tell you this: I don't like ketchup packets. That annoys me. Okay, I'm just sharing.
I hear
Okay,
you.
I like the machines where you push and get
Yeah.
the ketchup out. And what I like to do, I don't mess with the little dinky little cups. And my wife has this little technique where you can kind of pull the Dixie cup out to where it makes it like a bigger area.
It's
to
still
put more
sketchy,
ketchup.
though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sketchy.
I go for the full-on cow patty approach of ketchup, where you put it on the tray and you just make a huge patty of ketchup. I mean, that's the way to go because I love my ketchup with my fries.
Have you thought about putting it in a drink lid? Keep it a little contained, but you're still pattying out.
But I like. You know what happens though?
That's controlled chaos.
That ketchup just gets stuck in the crevices of that cup lid.
Can I
It
give
takes
you
so
a
much work.
recommendation?
I don't
much
like
hard
any. I don't want any friction. I don't want any.
I don't want any friction.
I want to be able to have full on ketchup. Just slide it on. Just get it right in my mouth. I don't want to have to deal with the lid. I don't want to have the lid moving around on me.
Okay, that's understandable.
I just want a tray sheet.
Yeah.
Cow patty of ketchup right on there.
Feel that.
The other thing that annoys me about restaurants, and this goes for any restaurant, if I order a drink, I like ice. I love ice. But don't
too
fill
much
my
ice.
ice to where I have no pop.
Yeah, fill the whole thing with ice.
And then, like, with this virus going on, you don't even get a chance to really fill your cup up.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, some restaurants, which I love restaurants right now, that do let me get my own drink. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You know what I used to do, Eric? I used to specify, especially at movie theaters. I think movie theaters are bad at that. I would specify that I want exactly 2 ice cubes, and that is the perfect amount to get your drink kind of cold.
See,
It's already kind of cold.
I need to think about it because I do love ice. Two
Yeah.
pieces of ice would not
Really?
make me
Eric.
happy. But I don't want my ice filled to the brim, and then I drink it, and then I'm done before I even walk into the
Yeah.
theater.
Yeah.
I walk out.
Eric, I would say a middle ground for that is a lot of times at movie theaters and places like that, I just ask for light ice.
Yes,
Instead,
light ice.
because if you ask for light ice, they'll give you like a nice little portion at the bottom. It's definitely more than 2 cubes.
Yes.
But it's not like half or 3/4 of your cup and then you have no pop with it.
Now, you guys brought up a lot of good things as far as Wendy's. Love Wendy's. Love Taco Bell. I love the box. I mean, I love the box idea because you get usually a good deal. You get a drink and you get, like right now, there's a chalupa. There is the crunchy things, twist, cinnamon twist.
Cinnamon twist.
Then
yep.
you get a hard shell taco. And then you get a 5-layer burrito, which is not a bad deal. But the Frito burrito, I don't think we actually mentioned on here, is a great.
I did
great,
talk about the
You
Frito
did?
Yeah.
I said that was my favorite dollar menu, and you
It's
seconded that.
Sorry.
No, you're
So I
good.
lost track. But anyhow, there's all kinds of different things that kind of bug me about restaurants, and I love about restaurants too. I like when the counter is clean when you go up to get your stuff, your condiments.
Cleanliness is next to
It's
managerialness.
Nice. It's nice.
That's from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
I would have to say Chick-fil-A is the best organized
Oh yeah,
as far as
Shout out to their drive-through, man.
Oh,
yeah,
my
their
gosh,
drive-through
so
is like
organized.
yeah, it's
clockwork.
crazy. Yeah.
All right. That's
All
enough.
right. Well, yeah, there we go. There's our fast food talk.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot to unpack there.
Oh.
So now,
The one thing I was going to say
Yeah,
about
hit us.
Arby's is that they had a great coupon. It's not as good as it used to be, but what's cool about it, some coupons and some restaurants, so keep this in mind, you can use the coupon just more than once. It's not just the one thing. So they had this family meal where you could get like 2 roast beef sandwiches, some cheese sticks, and fries. And it was all like under $10,
dang.
but you get that 2 or 3 times.
Shoot,
so you can,
dude.
if you're feeding your whole family, it's a great deal.
That's
So,
awesome.
AKA, get a family.
Yeah,
Get a
yeah.
family.
Corey.
All right.
All right.
I'll take that into consideration.
All right. So now we're going to be talking about. This has nothing to do with fast food. This is a very abrupt change. We're going to be talking about the Bible app. And what's the name of the Bible app we're talking about? Is it the U version? Is that what it's called? I always
Bible.
forget if it's called the U version.
version.
But it's the one that you probably have if you're watching this.
Yeah.
If you have a Bible app on your phone, I think this is the first one that comes up when you search it on the Apple Store.
I would say it's the best one.
Yeah,
Of
I
all the
agree.
ones I've tried.
And they do keep it pumping with updates. Like
Yes.
there's a lot of good stuff going on.
And I think it's the most downloaded
Oh, it's
Oh, I
it's
bet.
gotta
by
be.
far, but I'm thinking worldwide.
Mhm.
It's got to
Yeah.
be.
But as us for our avid users, especially Eric, you use this a lot for sermons
Yes.
and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So Eric's got a lot of feedback. So we're gonna be talking about pros and cons of this app. So who wants to kick us off?
I think I want to kick us
Yeah,
off
go
if that's
for it.
okay.
Kick it.
Because I took this, obviously I also use the YouVersion app, but I kind of wanted to open us up I wanted to give like a little pros and cons of just using a Bible app in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pros of using a Bible app, it's awesome, like with technology and stuff, how accessible like the Bible is now to us, because I mean, it's great to carry around your Bible, but there are a lot of places you can't, and people carry their phones all the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just being able to like pull it up at any point in time, and especially like being able to go in and use the search tool, and if you're looking for a specific thing or a topic or like a word, and being able to search for scriptures with that word and things, that's so specific, and I really like that. And I also think that having the built-in plans is really awesome, because you can go in and search like, again, topics and stuff, but find Bible reading plans that are available that just obviously aren't in your regular Bible, which is really good. But I do think like a couple of the cons that I have with using it as well is my phone is really distracting to me. Like, it's so easy to be like, if I'm reading my Bible, I'm clearing everything out. I have my Bible and I'm just reading.
Your physical Bible.
Like my physical Bible. Yeah. But when I pull my phone out if someone texts me and then I click on that text message to respond, I've completely lost my train of focus.
It also drops down in your notification bar, so
yeah.
you're literally.
So you're
seeing
saying that
Yeah.
if you just have your Bible, that you put your phone away,
Yeah, I like to.
so you
yes.
don't get your phone out at all if you're reading.
I mean, there are sometimes I do, but like
because like you'd still get a text. Or
you'd
something.
still get a text, but I'm just saying like when you're on the Bible app and
Yeah,
then the little
and you see the
notification window
notification
comes
comes up.
down, and like I know you can turn on Do Not Disturb or whatever.
What if that was a thing with the Bible app? You open up the Bible app and you can have a setting to where when you're
Yeah.
reading, Do Not Disturb just gets activated.
Yeah,
I don't know if Apple or those would let that
Yeah.
happen. But
Yeah. I'm just saying.
that's
Like,
a good
yeah.
idea.
It's just like for me, I can get distracted really
Yeah.
easily. So
For sure.
between that,
All of us
notifications, like just like we have a group message for this specific podcast, and like when we are messaging in there, we're getting a lot of messages quickly.
yeah.
So like if I was reading my Bible and we decided to start messaging in there, all of those messages would just completely throw off my train of
I
thought.
understand.
And then one other thing that I don't like as much is when compared to your regular Bible is there's such a big emphasis on like people talking about like taking scriptures out of context and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're reading out of the Bible app, you're getting like this little tiny portion, like especially if you just click on a page or whatever. But I really like to like read something and I'm like, wait a second, what was he talking about? And if I'm reading my actual Bible, it's like usually right on that page or the next page. But sometimes on my Bible app, that's like 6 pages.
Yeah.
So then I'm like scrolling back trying to find
so
what
you're
I was
saying it's
looking
just
for.
easier to look
it's
at.
just easier for me for like studying purposes.
Sure.
So I feel like those are kind of like a few drawbacks just for me. It definitely has a lot of upside and a lot of like for churches, a lot of functional
Yeah.
abilities, which I'm sure we'll get into while we're talking about
I'll
this.
probably share that.
Yeah, I figured that's why I didn't want to go
Yeah.
too into detail there. But just like for me, for personal study, I would rather carry my Bible for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that carrying your Bible is just a good witness on itself. Like if people
Yeah.
if people see you on your phone in a coffee shop, you could be reading your Bible and no one would know. But I think God can plant seeds in anyone's heart at any point in time.
Yeah.
And just someone seeing you reading your physical Bible could bring something to someone's mind or whatever. And if you're reading your Bible, they know you're reading your Bible.
Yeah.
Like there aren't most Bibles like look different than other books. So like that's what you're reading. So those are my
That's good.
kind of like short list of
Yeah.
pros and cons.
You want to go, Ryan?
Yeah, sure. So,
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Eric.
sorry.
You're
You want to play
last.
rock, paper, scissors for it?
No, let's just let
I,
it go.
I don't have that many. Well, first of all, I think that the Bible app overall is freaking awesome, especially this version. I think that they have a lot of really good stuff in it. Sometimes I do think that they're kind of trying to turn more into like a social media platform though.
Well, I think they are trying to add some elements.
Yeah, which I mean it's fine, but like I think that how
they
it is
added
right
a way
now.
where you can share prayer requests.
Yeah, which I think is cool, but I really hope that in the future they don't do the thing where people can openly comment on the Bible app.
Well, for my son and daughter, that was their first experience at social media.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as I can tell, you can't just like post like captions and stuff because that could be a big distraction when using the Bible app.
No, I agree. I don't think they should.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that you can do a plan together and share that plan
Mm-hmm.
with your friends.
But one of my favorite things after going to Bible college, I really liked about the Bible app is how easy it is to switch between versions.
Yes.
I think that is so cool,
I
and
think
like
that's
really,
one of the-
that's the only way possible, unless you go like on your computer or something, or get one of those cross-reference Bibles.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. You can get Bibles that parallel. So, in
Yeah.
other words, you might have one translation on this side and another translation
Yeah.
on that side, which is great. I have a few of those.
Yeah,
But yeah, the quickness that you can just switch out.
yeah,
So if you want to look at what the King James says, or the New King James, or NIV, or ESV, those are all ones I'd recommend to look
yeah.
at. I really have I grew up on the King James.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to NIV, and I would almost recommend NIV, but I kind of leaning now to the ESV.
Yeah, that's the one I use all throughout
I'm
college.
a big ESV guy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just really cool. And then even sometimes, like if I'm, like I know the Message Bible is very controversial. It's kind of paraphrased sometimes, but it is cool sometimes
Yes.
to like if you read something. Sometimes there's really cool ways that they kind of explain it in the Message Bible. So sometimes if I'm in service and like I'm reading something and I'm just like curious, I'll switch over to the Message really quick and just see what that says. Obviously, don't take that necessarily to heart. Don't just read the Message version.
I think that's a good point. That's what I would recommend to people. Is
Yeah.
like if you just want to look at it as another way to look at a verse,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's totally
Yeah,
fine. I
and-
would probably not use that as my main way.
Oh,
of
yeah,
reading
for sure.
scripture. But I agree with you. Like looking at it and reading it
Yeah.
to just get a perspective.
To go on what you said too, Eric, I think it's really good, like you said, just to see what it says, but also, especially in some of the Old Testament stuff, if you're like understand part of a passage, but you're like really kind of like, I have no idea what this is saying, like that. I know especially like the NLT and the Message, like I think they're good tools too to, like you said,
Yes.
cross-reference, so you can be like, okay, I'm lost. I have no idea what the passage is saying here. I've read it 5 times. I'm trying to figure it out. And then you switch over, and it's like even if it is like paraphrased a little bit or something, depending on how it's written, just use it as a cross-reference, like a tool to try and understand what the author is saying at that point in time.
Yeah.
I think that's really valuable because everybody is at like a different place in their walk with Christ as Christians, and like I feel as you read the Bible more, you kind of get a better understanding of what some of those passages mean. But if you don't understand what it means, I think studying that to help you comprehend it is really helpful.
Yeah.
I just thought a good segue, we could have done it with the restaurant, and with this, it's food, spiritual food.
Oh, your daily bread.
Yeah.
You get your fast food bread and then your daily bread.
Did you have any more pros or cons?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously, like, I think the Bible does a really good job at keeping features coming, and like I think that the features they do have, I do think that sometimes, like, if you're just trying to like pull up a verse real quick, sometimes it's a little overwhelming when you get to this homepage. I'm looking at it right now. There's a lot of stuff on there that is, I don't know, it just kind of looks cluttered to me, but like that's really the only thing. Like I think it's such a good app, and I think that they're doing, and I really like the Bible plans. Back a while ago, it was really hard to like preview Bible plans, but I think they fixed that recently because I was looking at that here.
Yeah.
Because you used to have to like choose it, and then you had to like say that you wanted to save it, and then it would like it was hard to like see what you're going into. But like now, when I'm looking at it, it's pretty user friendly.
Yeah, I think it's called sample.
Yeah,
You
sample.
hit sample and it'll take you to
I
where
think
you
that's a
can see
new
it,
thing
look
that
at
they
it.
added. I mean, it's probably not super new, but
I think it is relatively
Oh,
new.
really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's pretty useful.
Yeah, you're right. Before you almost had to sign up for the plan before you could really preview it and see if it's something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You can go.
All right.
I'll bring up the.
Dear Bible app, please let me highlight one word.
That's a good point that you brought out before this podcast.
I mean,
thought
like-
it was interesting.
Well, see, I feel like I've said this 3,000 times in the podcast. Just bought a new Bible, physical Bible, and I have loved it so much. And it's a wide margin Bible. And with me, it's really, repetition's very important when you're reading scripture. Really, really important. When you see something very specific said multiple times, it's being emphasized for a reason. And that's kind of where you pull themes from verses and stuff like that. So, and for me recently, highlighting specific words is kind of what I look for. And when you click on the stinking screen of the Bible app, it highlights, verses
the
sometimes
entire
be long. You click on the screen, you're like, oh, it's all blue now. And you're just
Yeah.
like, well, crap. Because all I wanted was...
The
That one
first
word.
half of a verse.
It happened to
restored,
me
yeah.
just now when we, like, you'll see when we do the biblical integration, I wanted to highlight exactly what it was that I was going to talk about because it's just one little tiny sentence, but there the whole screen turns blue.
Mm-hmm.
So... you guys have already hit on the pros of it. I'll just keep talking about the bad stuff.
But that's a good idea. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be nice if it did that for you. I mean, at least it gives you the verse. Did you ever go back and look at all your verses that you've saved? It's kind of neat that you look at your highlights. So that's
Yeah.
good.
But another thing was I have an iPad with an Apple Pencil. So I really liked using the Bible app on my iPad because it kind of covers what Corey was talking about, being able to look back and see what you were reading is really helpful instead of scrolling 3 miles, kind of like we were talking about. I love that on the iPad. But again, taking notes while you're writing in your Bible is so important too. I'm big on that. That's why I bought a note-taking Bible, and I love that. So I think that for the iPad version, I really think there should be an option to where you can kind of half the screen and just take handwritten notes if you want to.
Now, have you tried I know with an iPad you can open 2 apps. Do you know that you can actually, when you copy a verse, when you put it into another app or another thing, it actually puts the link and it also puts the reference, so you don't even have to take that. It just puts everything
That's
in there.
cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat because then you could almost create notes. You know, you could have notes on your iPad
Yeah.
and the Bible
See,
app,
I did.
and then do those together.
I did Notability. It's a note-taking app and the Bible app combo, and I mean, if you're thinking about a standard size iPad, when you have the screen like that with two different apps, and you've got to keep their headings like the Bible app and Notability, takes up a lot of screen area.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
So you're holding a landscape, or?
Either way, you lose the benefit of seeing the full passage on your iPad because now it's just like you have your phone and a piece of paper next to you. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is you almost want a margin. Like in
I
your
want a
Bible.
margin in the
Yeah,
Bible
Like you
app
just want
that saves my
margin
notes when I
option.
scroll through.
I mean, obviously that wouldn't work very well on phones though.
but that's what I'm thinking.
for
There's
iPad.
different. They have to change
Adjust the Bible app for
yeah,
iPad.
adjust the Bible app for iPad.
Because I think it's probably the same app.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Either device.
And the last thing for cons is I really don't like the whole vibe that the Bible app has set with using your phone in church, because a lot of times that's just a gateway for people to just get on their phones.
Yeah.
And I know that's probably something you were going to talk about, Eric. But today, even in church, I mean, we're big about, feel free to pull out your phone and use technology for the God's glory and to benefit your learning experience, which is fantastic. And I think that you can do that. First thing I see, someone flips open their phone and it's just not the Bible app. So, I mean, the whole thing of I feel like I can use the Bible app really well to my advantage, but the thought that someone else around me is thinking that, oh, he's not on the Bible app just makes me not want to use it.
Yeah.
So that's not something that they can fix, but the whole vibe of you see people on their phone in church, the odds that they're on the Bible app is just I don't think so.
Okay, so that's
So that's a good trailer for you.
conversation piece, because do people typically always pay attention no matter what in church?
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's amazing sometimes when you're up there preaching, and maybe it's just my preaching, maybe Adam and Pastor Mark have a different experience. It's just amazing how many people are actually watching you or
Yeah.
listening to you, regardless if they're on their phone or not.
Yeah.
There are actually some people sometimes sleeping during your message, so that's interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
So the purpose of coming to church is to learn. So
Yeah.
that's up to you. Whether you're on your phone to do something, I mean, yeah, I could see like what Corey brought up as a distraction with notifications and stuff, but really it's another tool.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, there's times where maybe I'm tuning out and I'm just reading my Bible. If I have my physical Bible, I'm reading the Bible and maybe not really paying
Yeah.
attention
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
message
yeah.
because I'm kind of tuned out.
Yeah.
And I'm still doing something for God, but I'm not really paying
Yeah.
attention to the message. I think it's all about how you utilize whatever's in front of you.
I
I do
totally
agree that
totally
people
agree.
sometimes can abuse things, but I don't know how you can
It's
stop
not.
that.
It's
really.
not that I care about really what other people are doing on their phone during it. It's the thought
You're worried
of
about judgment?
when I use my Bible, when I have my iPad in church and used my iPad Notability and Bible app for a while, I thought that just the thought of it, people are like, that's so extra. That's like
Yeah.
you're not really on
You're
your.
kind of more concerned about the judgment of man than the judgment of God.
Roasted.
Ouch. No, but you know
You're
what I
worried
mean.
about what people think of you too. I mean, I understand your concern. I think that's what we've all kind of, any type of change that we're kind of adjusted to, kind of puts us out on maybe an area where we're just a little bit discomfortable with. And those are always important questions to ask. Are we doing it for the right reasons?
Yeah.
But I think when we look at the Bible app, there's a lot of pros and cons that I could mention. One is the event page as we go to the service thing. It is kind of nice to put our notes and sermons.
I really, really like that.
And I have really loved doing that
Oh, yeah.
because I like to put my scriptures in there where you can actually click on it and it opens up. So if you're when I do a sermon, if you click on the verse, it'll actually open up to where you can see the full chapter.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
I love that part. And then also you can just put your notes in there. And I try to do, I think I've pretty much been successful with this. I try to find a plan for the week. So that if somebody hears the message and wants to dive deeper into a topic that I spoke on,
You'll
like
link
being
it.
a father, I actually
That's
put
so
that
cool.
plan inside there for somebody to do. I don't know how people will actually take advantage of that, which would be great for and maybe there's a way. It'd be great to have the Bible app. Maybe I need to investigate this more. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm speaking of something. I would love to have more feedback as far as if a church uses that. And so what we're talking about, if somebody doesn't know, you can actually go to the More section of the Bible app, which is on the very right side of the Bible app on the bottom,
events.
and go to events, and it searches in your location nearby what events are happening.
So who can like make an event? Is that just for churches, or
Pretty
can
much-
pretty much anyone do that?
Pretty much anybody could do it. I do think that you probably have to have like church name in your title or something. I'd have to look at that further, but yeah, you just go. There's a certain website you go to create an event, and then you go in there and then you put your information in. And what's cool is you can duplicate your event, so you don't have to because like we have our online giving stuff that's the same every week.
Yeah.
So I don't have to lose that stuff.
That's
I just
cool.
duplicate it and then change it for the next one.
That's cool.
So I usually try to put the image of the topic I'm putting in with our church logo, and then I'll put the sermon notes in there and the scriptures. But I always like to try to do a plan, because you never know. Somebody may be like, hey, I want to learn more about being a father. That's what I did last time. So I have a Bible plan in there that was dealing with that.
Yeah.
So I think there's, again, I think the biggest thing about technology, and this is the good and the bad with technology, in how fast our things have progressed, is really that you have to be willing to put things on different types of medium to really reach people. Because
I agree. Yeah.
everybody has a different, just like Corey explained, there's a lot of people that prefer, like my son Xavier, he prefers to have a book in his hand.
Yeah.
He just likes the way that feels, like the paper, just being able to go through the book. And I think that's the way with the Bible. If you prefer that, that's great. I mean, that's fantastic. That's a great thing. I think about the early Christians, they didn't have that. They didn't have a Bible at all.
Yeah.
And so we are blessed, and we should be using our Bibles. But now with technology, it is kind of nice because, like for me, me and my daughter and my wife are doing a Bible plan. It's reading the whole Bible through the year. Sometimes it's nice because, I don't know if some people know this, but you can get the Bible app skill on Alexa. So you can actually coordinate that with it. She will actually read the plan to me.
That's cool.
So when I'm in the car, I can go through several chapters, and it's kind of interesting because I'm going through David right now. And it's like I can't wait for the next 2 chapters of David. Talk about a great movie or a mini-series. I think that David's story, because a lot of times we just think of Goliath. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. But, you go through Goliath, and, that's all we think of. But there's so much more in depth if you think about his story of his sons and just the craziness of his family and everything, and the dynamics of that, how he went through the period with time with Saul and everything. So it's just interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess I just appreciate the Bible app kind of going out in these different ways and sharing things. Some of my cons, and now maybe I'll share a couple more praises after the cons, because I don't want to leave on a bad note. But when the Alexa app or skill first started, and I had like 5 different Bible plans. She would ask me all the time. She'd ask me, "Do you want to? If you would like to change your plan, you can tell Alexa to change your plan, and she'll change your plan." And I heard that over and over and over. I wanted just to go to my single plan that I was already committed to, that I was already doing, and she kept wanting to ask me if I wanted to change my plan. So finally, I just deleted all the plans I was doing, so I'd have one plan.
Yeah.
But I think that finally they felt like they got that
fixed
communicated enough, because I was definitely communicated. And it's nice that you can tell her that hey, I can change my plan. There's so many good plans out there. One that I would like to recommend is there's a basketball one. It's actually made by the Bible Museum. It's a college basketball, and they actually do an NBA one.
Oh, that's
really
cool.
good. Check those out. Me and Xavier went through those.
Yeah.
There's a college football one. But there are so many good plans out there that I could recommend.
There's a lot.
I like the plans because you can, if you're really going through something hard, that's a really easy way to find something to help you out. If you're not really wanting to, if you're not to the point where you find someone to reach out to, you know what I mean? It's kind of a very situational, like I can find a plan that's
I also really like
tailored
how
for me.
easy it is to search by topic.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them where they're just like named the topic you're looking for.
Now, when I'm actually preparing a message, I do a thing called Bible Gateway, and it's kind of like the Bible app, but it's a different one. But actually, I pay for it. It gives me other commentaries and things I don't like. It's online, but it gives me commentaries.
Are there commentaries on the U version?
No,
I don't think there are.
So.
because those are really good too.
Yeah. So I get a lot of extra features with that. I pay like $100 a year.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper than Lodos. If you're really serious about learning, I would recommend Lodos, but you're paying like hundreds to thousands of dollars between
dang.
what you want. Pastor Mark has that, which is really good, but it's a lot of stuff that
Some people
again,
might
it's
not
good,
need.
but it's like a lot of money too to commit to.
Yeah.
So I think the starter pack's like $500 for that.
Dang. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Bible app's really good.
For
There
sure.
are little things that I would kind of tweak, like you said.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that it does have a friends list, because there's been times where I've sent invitations to do a certain study, and maybe that's what we should do sometime.
Yeah.
Is go through a study together,
Yeah.
and actually we could use that as our topic
Yeah.
for the day.
Uh-huh.
Talk about the scripture, talk about that,
Get the viewers on
and
it
then
too.
get the viewers on it too.
It'd be cool.
So that'd be kind of neat. But I do like that because, I've done that a few times, and it's been really cool because there's actually a comment section too at the end of each lesson
Yeah.
that you can leave comments about that. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, just real quick though, not to go too in depth. The one thing that I thought you were going to mention that I didn't mention con wise, I know we don't want to learn about it, is how it always asks you if you love the Bible app.
This is more of a funny con.
And we all love the Bible app,
Yeah.
but if you click yes, it takes you through this process of having to leave a review, and it takes you to the Apple page or the App Store page. And so a lot of people are just clicking no on
Yeah.
if you love the Bible
Well,
app,
I do
just to
that.
save
To
time.
be honest, I do that sometimes. I just like I don't have the time right now.
I know.
It's like
I just
I'm
want
tired
to
of
leave
this.
me alone.
Yeah. And I mean,
if I do it on one device, what do I have to do it on another
I
device?
know.
If I do it on my
Exactly.
phone, what do I have to do it
yeah,
on my
I mean,
iPad?
I do think it's getting better though, because I remember back when I first got it, like when they had the review, like it would just randomly come up when you're using it. But I think for the most part, like the
I
first
just noticed how many different numbers you got to enter in your passcode. I was like,
yeah,
wow.
my face thing didn't work. Thanks for knowing my password. If anyone wants to know, my password is 121212 on my phone.
Just ask me. I know.
But yeah, that's the last thing. But let's carry on, because we've been
Yeah.
it's gonna be a long one, I think.
That's all right.
But the next one is something that I love. It's live bands, live music.
Kick her off for us.
So we're going to be talking about just live music. What I took this topic as, because on the list it just says live band, we're going to talk about like a live band that we saw. I have seen so many live bands that I can't remember a lot of them. I've probably seen like 30 different bands live.
I also think you're the one to talk about this. Honestly.
Yeah, like I have
we're all
so much
listening.
input.
We're listening to you.
So I think that live music, like concerts and stuff, I think that is one of the coolest things that has kind of not changed throughout decades. Because, I mean, concerts have been around forever, and it's really a shame right now that coronavirus has really impacted this. Because, like, before this pandemic, I would probably go to, like, 1 or 2 concerts a month, especially in college.
Really?
Yeah. I love concerts. I love live music. I love the atmosphere. I also love how it kind of depends on the band, but for the most part, everyone in the crowd's so respectful of each other. Like, there's kind of this, like, underlying, like, vibe and, like, everyone's on the same level in terms of, like...
Kind of like going to a favorite football team.
Yeah, exactly.
Experience. Everybody's there for the
yeah,
same
and I mean,
cause,
it's cool
same
to see
purpose.
other fans and stuff. But some of my favorite live, I'm going to talk about 3. I mean, obviously, before I've been to winter jams and stuff like that, and those are all great. But I really like the concerts where, like, I'm in the pit, like I'm right up front, or like I'm in a big sweaty group of people, because I think that's
Sounds like fun to
I
me.
think that's what live music's all about, in my opinion. But my favorite concert I've been to ever, I've seen 21 Pilots 3 times now. And the most recent, I saw them, and I was up front in the pit, and I got to see everything close up, and that was just so cool. Because I've been following that band for a long time, and their production is crazy good. Like, they have all these lights and all these effects and stuff that go on. And there's even parts when the band members get on the crowd. Like, there's, like, certain songs, they'll, like, take the, like, drum set on a platform, and the crowd will hold it, and the drummer will play. And so, yeah.
You got some amazing pictures then too.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
got a picture of Tyler Joseph.
Yeah,
that
I
was
might
like,
link some of them, some of the videos I
Yeah.
have, or just one of them. But that was such a cool experience, and it was really cool just because,
Now,
like,
when you say band members, there's only 2 people.
yeah, there's
in
only
that.
2 people,
Okay.
yeah.
It's 2
But-
brothers.
No, they're not brothers.
They're not brothers?
No,
Really?
They're
Yeah.
just friends.
yeah, they're friends.
Oh.
They're just BFFs.
Well, I'm sad now because I
Well,
was
that
thought
means
they
that
were
we can be in
brothers.
a famous
Weren't they
band
college
there.
roommates or something?
No, they
From
just
They're
Ohio.
just friends.
yeah, they're
they
just
are
friends.
from Ohio.
They met
They're
they
from
met in
Columbus,
Ohio.
right?
Yeah.
What was the other ones you had?
The other one I had was I am gonna talk about Marshmallow again. That was just a cool experience. I talked about that, I think, like episode 1 or 2.
And we're not talking Fortnite, right?
Yeah, we're not talking about Fortnite this time. I missed that one, but I did get to see Marshmallow at a huge concert. But it was cool because, like, obviously Marshmallow, pretty much everyone knows about Marshmallow. I mean, obviously some older people might not know about Marshmallow, but that was a really cool experience to see that. And I love live, like electronic music too.
I was gonna say, like, I think Marshmallow's huge on his visual effects
Yeah.
too.
Oh, for
and
sure.
I think that when you just listen to his music, you can find yourself listening to it and be like, oh, this isn't crazy. But the amount of time that goes into syncing his music to the visual effects,
like live DJs are really cool.
yeah. And EDM is like,
yeah, EDM.
EDM, that's huge. Is the visual effects that go along with it, the production.
It's an experience. Like,
yeah,
you won't understand it until you see it, but it's so cool. Another one of my favorite artists ever is an artist called Bon Iver. It's like an indie artist. He makes really like kind of low key, chill music. But he's a huge name. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people have heard his music, but I went to a show one time. It was his like 10 year, 15 year anniversary of his like breakout album, and I went to this huge stadium. It's where the Milwaukee Bucks play, so just for like scale, like huge sold out stadium. I was like just sitting somewhere random with 2 of my friends, but this artist comes out and he plays really intimate music, like really soft. It's usually, I mean, he has a band, but there's some songs when it's just him and a piano singing. But the coolest thing, I've never experienced it before in a concert because I've been to Winter Jam and stuff. And obviously Winter Jam is like hype. Everyone's singing along. Mm-hmm. But this concert, just because everyone was such a big fan of this guy and like everyone respects him a ton because he's such a smart guy, like how he makes music. The entire concert, the sold out stadium, nobody sang, nobody said anything. It was dead silent, and this guy was just playing music, which was insane because there's probably 15,000 people there. And I think that was just one of the coolest experiences of all time. And I did get to see him again a second time. It was at a smaller place, same thing. But seeing something like that in a huge sold-out stadium, that was so cool. But yeah. Yeah, there's mine. I could talk about this forever. But
You may go next.
Yeah, go for it.
So, to be honest, I don't think I've ever been to a secular and what I mean by that, I've never been to like a popular, regular.
You've never been to a good concert. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Ooh.
No, but probably one of the best concerts, Christian concerts I've been to was Third Day.
Okay.
And they had an offering that had different offering CDs came out, but it was just so awesome because I mean they rocked. And it was really cool, but it led into a worship experience.
Yeah, that's cool.
And just having them lead worship, it was just an amazing experience. It was just really cool, and it wasn't the Civic Center. It was the auditorium in Charleston, and so it was a more intimate setting. It felt like.
Yeah.
So it was just really.
Those are some of my favorite ones. The
it was just really powerful. You could see people were just really into it and just really praising God, and so it was really good. I Third Day was one of my, great bands I still love. And I listen to some of their stuff. It makes me sad they're not together anymore doing stuff. Hopefully they'll come back like most bands seem to do.
Yeah.
The other one was kind of a surprise for me that I thought they did so well. It's sad, but it's Petra.
Oh,
it
yeah.
Was it's the old Petra. So it was just really because it was just a local concert here at Parkersburg High School.
And Porterfield opened for him.
The praise band opened for him, which the praise band did great too that night. But it was just really kind of surprising me because I thought, they'll be okay. But actually, the lead singer sounded great. The band sounded great.
How old are the members now? Do you know?
Oh, they're probably like in their 60s. It's
really?
like listening to Aerosmith now.
That's
probably.
crazy.
But they actually did a really good job. I was impressed. Cool. Some of their old songs, I knew a few of them. I didn't know a lot of them. But I thought, for a concert, that they did a good job. So
yeah,
cool.
Shout out to Petra.
Yeah, shout out to Petra. Old school Petra.
That's a band I really haven't listened to much at all.
Well, it's one of the first.
I know they're pioneers.
Yeah, they're pioneers. They were one of the first bands that, I heard the new version it was the first concert I went to.
Really?
First concert of any type.
That's sweet.
So
that's like hundreds of years ago.
That was back. See, I grew up in a small church, so I didn't have a youth group. But when I turned 16, my mom took me to Cornerstone Gospel Church in Vienna. It was a pretty good sized church at the time, and got involved in the youth group. Got to go to church camp. That's where I rededicated my life. But yeah, they took me to a concert, and I was like, wow, this is really cool.
That's cool, yeah.
So it opened the door for me to see Christian music in a different way, because I was just kind of used to hymns, and nothing wrong with hymns. I don't want to dog out hymns, but it just opened me like, oh, God can work. That was the biggest thing for me being in youth ministry or youth group. It just made me see how God could work in other ways.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, not that the church means to an older traditional church, but you're kind of limiting your people, especially younger people, to see that God can work in many different ways. That God can work through different types of music. God can work through different type of styles of preaching.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
God could, for me, opening up the door for dramas.
Yeah,
to see that God could speak through dramas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
I'm done.
That's cool.
So
Drop the mic.
I kind of have
What's
a
the
short
tea?
one for this. I have not been to many concerts.
It's a shame.
I've been to a lot of winter jams and stuff. My senior year of college, Ryan we were planning on going to a couple, and I had a very serious injury and couldn't go.
Yeah. Broke his ankle.
Yeah, it was really bad, really long recovery.
Did I ever go to a concert with you though?
Yes, that's what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about one of them.
Okay.
But yes, I've been to like winter jams and stuff like that, and I think that's really cool, especially there aren't many concerts where you get to hear multiple popular artists at the same time. Like there's usually an opener and
It's
stuff
like a
that.
taste of a concert.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a real
Yeah.
concert. It's
See,
more
that's
like
my downfall about them, because I love seeing shows that are just that one band, because they have a full production. Some even have like a narrative going on during the whole thing.
True.
And
But
Winter Jam kind of takes that away.
But to me, it's a
you do get to
nice,
see a lot of
for
people.
cost-effective way
Oh,
for
yeah.
them to get a taste
For
for
sure.
kids to be able
Yeah.
to experience that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's kind of one of my things. But one of the like smaller, more intimate things I saw was I want to say my junior year. It was either my junior year or my senior year of college. Ryan and I were listening to this band called AJR.
Oh yes.
And they
Forgot about this.
They kind of exploded off of like
they're
one.
huge now.
They're huge now,
Cool.
but they
yeah.
they only had like one song that was really popular and it was taking off on
Weak.
Weak.
But I'm weak. and
Yeah.
what's wrong with that?
But that song
your
took
record.
off on the radio, and somehow, right as they were becoming popular, the Marietta Sternwheel Festival managed to book them.
Really?
So
Yeah, it was crazy.
So Ryan and I packed up a bunch of our friends from Cedarville, and we drove to Marietta, and they didn't even have a stage. They pulled like a barge up on the bank of the river, and they set the stage up on like the barge.
And we like stood on
And
the
then-
slope of a hill the
Yeah,
entire
we stood
time.
on the slope of a hill, and then there was water separating like us and them because they couldn't pull the barge like all the
Talk
way
about
up.
crowd control.
Yeah, I was.
And alligators in there as a
And
moat.
but it was just really cool because they were just like starting to. It was almost like they booked them before they took
Yeah.
off, and then they
Like,
took off.
Like they were probably fresh off of a show where they sold out like a decent sized
Yeah.
Imagine
venue.
how frustrating the
Oh,
band
yeah.
is. Like, man, why didn't we get
They
this
killed it,
contract?
though. They killed it.
They killed it, and everyone there was super hyped about it because
wasn't a ton of people.
There wasn't a ton of people, but everyone that was there
Yeah.
was like all into it, like sold out, and it was just so much fun because everyone like essentially jumped and sang the whole time because like Ryan said, they're used to bigger shows at that point, but Marietta had booked that show
Yeah.
before they took off.
They were
That's cool.
super cool about it. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like some bands, if they were in that thing, would kind of just be like, they'd play a show and get out of there.
Yeah.
But they were super involved with the crowd. Like, they
Yeah.
were having a ton of fun. They even had...
That's really cool. To me, that means a lot to see a band
Oh, yeah,
like
for sure.
that with a smaller crowd,
Yeah.
because then you're like, that's legit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they even had, like, the... like Sternwheel Festival King and Queen or whatever come on stage or something like that.
They had something like
Yeah.
that. Like they
They,
interacted
shouted
with the
out.
crowd.
Like
well.
like they were totally in on it. Like I
Um,
think it was so cool.
Yeah, and they hadn't had like a lot of music out at that point. Like they mainly had their one album, I think. I think they had two albums, but like their album that was taking off at that point was just like one.
Yeah.
So like everyone knew the songs
Yeah.
really well too there. So that was cool because it was really interactive. So I would say that was probably my best experience just because like you said, it was like kind of an intimate thing because
Yeah.
they were too big of a band to be playing that size crowd.
It was
Yeah.
special.
So like the people with the crowd, like the crowd, it was a special
Yeah.
experience.
Logan, what about you? You have a weird take on this, don't you?
Yeah, this is fun. We've heard you guys did a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna throw out a band that I've been listening to, but I haven't seen them live, which is just wild. Like, why the crap are you saying this, Logan? Well, this is actually.
Why the crap are you saying this, Logan?
Thank you. The album that I've been listening to is his name's Kalante Gavin, and it's from an album. Ooh, I just about played one of their songs. Their album's called Higher Journey, but I've been big onto like this gospel music vibe, but like hardcore, straight up gospel. Mm-hmm. So they have a lot. They only make live albums too, which is really cool. But that's really cool, so you can check them out. And yeah, his name's. How do you think that's Kalante? Yeah, Kalante Gavin.
Yeah.
Higher Journey. That's really cool. I love gospel drummers too, so that's why I've been really big on that. Gospel drummers are on like the next level. So, I guess as far as live band experience goes, this is gonna also be really weird. I'm like the oddball in the group. Blind Journey. Now listen. Hear me out. Blind Journey is a local band. Sound guy Adam was a pioneer member of Blind Journey.
Until they kicked him out.
I'm not just throwing this out there to be funny, but seriously, they are a band. And
he actually left to become our sound guy.
Yeah. So, but that's another thing that they're like probably the most live experience band I've ever seen in my life, honestly.
Really?
Just for being consistency, like following them through all the retreats I've been to.
Yeah.
I've been to like 7 or 8 retreats, and they do like little things during camp. Mm-hmm. But seeing them and the crowd interaction and actually knowing some of them personally, it's just like really cool experience. I get really excited when I see them.
It's like family.
Yeah, it's almost like a family thing, and I've really liked. They play one song that everyone really gets hype about, and just growing up with that and remembering that when I was really young and seeing it from my perspective, more of like a leader position is like really cool.
Didn't Dan do some type of chicken song?
Back in the day.
It's a chicken song. That was
It's
the
a chicken
original.
song.
Yeah, I don't know. That I just was trying to be a little different with the whole thing.
Not Chick-fil-A, but
Winter Jam is another one of those live things I've been to so much. And the thing about Winter Jam I really like is just seeing the vast amount of believers is really encouraging to me. And knowing that like, there are more of us out here.
Unless you got protesters out there. And
Eric has experience with the protesters.
That's really it for me. Share a little live band I listen to frequently, and Blind Journey is just they're a really local band, and I like the interaction.
Topics. I do think it's really cool to see live bands and see how well they do, because you know that the recording stuff has been tweaked and refined, and I know that equipment has changed a lot, so that modification can happen more live. But I do think it's really cool to see the
how it translates.
How it translates.
That's really cool.
How to see the real effect of what they can do.
Yeah.
Like Unplugged on MTV used to be a cool show.
Oh, yeah. There's some classics.
And I kind of like to see what bands do if they just got rid of all their equipment, what they'd sound like.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of cool Unplugged sets for sure. Yeah. So, all right. Well, now we're going to be talking about Jesus questions.
And are we using the Bible app?
And we're using the Bible.
Yeah.
Shout out to the U version. Guys, don't get distracted.
I took a
Sponsor us.
picture of my Bible last time, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah. So, also with this topic, I just want to say the topic list says Jesus question, and I came in fully prepared. I thought we were going to say...
Sure.
Like, if we could ask Jesus any question, what was the question?
I was like, oh gosh.
So I was like, oh, this is interesting.
How many hairs are on my head?
It's like, how well do you know me? But I did think of a question, so it's okay. I messaged Eric to clarify, and I'm glad I did. Yeah. So it gave me some time.
Go ahead.
Sorry, next time I'll have a little bit more detail.
It's okay. I thought it was fun. So either way, it was like. But I know we're trying to go in deep here at the end, and that would kind of like take away.
But
from
for clarification, we are going to be talking about verses where Jesus asked a question, which is very important. Yeah. Because whenever Jesus asks a question, it's kind of him emphasizing like a point.
Yeah. And also to cause us to think.
Oh yeah.
Think about that. I mean,
think about it.
See, it's doing a good job.
But isn't that cool? You know, that Christianity is not a cult, because Jesus actually wants his followers to dive in. Mm-hmm. Even if you go back to God, we did a whole series here at church with questions that Jesus asked, but we did one that was questions that God asked, and we may do that as a topic too. But I think it's really cool that Jesus does ask questions.
For sure.
I agree. But
Hit us with Colby.
okay, I'll
Colby Jack.
Did you just call him Colby?
Yeah, just
Hey,
so
you called him Cody like 2 episodes ago.
Well,
I wasn't here.
That was not a
and he
accident.
called me something else last week.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
What'd
I
I
can't remember
say?
what it was
I don't
though.
know what it was. Doesn't matter.
Erica.
Okay.
Aaron.
Just so our listeners understand, Logan and I have had this thing for years now. We always said we were going to start. Was it a podcast?
Yeah.
So fun fact: we were
Really?
going to start a podcast on our own, and we said we were going to call each other Lucas and Colby instead of Logan and Corey.
Well, here you are.
Here we are.
Here you are, and you're
I-
not doing
yeah.
it until now.
Yeah. So that's if Logan calls me that, it's just what we do.
It's natural.
It is natural for us, actually. So this first question I wanted to bring about is Matthew 7, verse 16. And
Solid.
I'll ask the question, and then I'll go back in because the context is kind of prior to the question as well. The question that Jesus asked here was, are grapes gathered from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? And what he's talking about is he's talking about false prophets at this time. And I just think it's really relevant because especially with like the media age and like people trying to push agendas and things like that, like there are a lot of things that on the surface that sound really good. And like it's really easy to like want to like obviously we have, because we were created by God, we have this Eric's talked about it before on here. I don't know if it was last week and it hasn't aired yet, but we talked about like the innate like nature to do good. And so but it says, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will recognize them by their fruits. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? So every healthy tree bears good fruit, but the diseased tree bears bad fruit. And I just think it's really important to look at that because there are so much that you can just read on the surface and it's like, man, this sounds so good. Like this sounds
Yeah.
like the perfect opportunity, or like I want to help people and they sound like they're helping people.
Yeah.
But you really have to be careful because like we talked about James and that one aired, and I talked about how we talked about our works and our faith when we talked about that. You're going to see the results of their work. The message may sound good, but there's going to be results that you see around their message. And if what they're doing is inflicting good change and you can see good fruit coming from that, that's going to be a really important marker for where their stance is with Christ.
Yeah. I think you should look at somebody and not just base them on their words, but look at their actions too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
And that's how you evaluate if their fruit is valuable and taking root.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna do mine real quick. I'll keep it short. So mine doesn't really seem like, and it's not the question that I think you guys are gonna do. It is a question God asked, but it's not like he's really asking us a question. It's just kind of like he's saying something out loud.
Okay.
He says,
kind of interesting.
he says, "Who touched me?"
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I know exactly, but
I could go deep with
it's
that.
yeah, yeah.
intellectual, Ryan. I like that
I'm
one.
gonna get, but it's in Mark 5. It's when he's in this big crowd, and people are asking him to heal stuff, and this woman who was sick or about to die, I guess, or I don't really know what her issue was there, just came up and touched Jesus's garment. And the cool thing about that for me is that obviously Jesus was in this huge crowded area. Everyone was flocking around him. And he noticed this one woman that touched his garment. It says that after she touches it, it says in verse 30, and Jesus, perceiving in himself that power had gone out from him, immediately turned about in the crowd and said, "Who touched my garments?" And his disciples said to him, "You see the crowd pressing around you, and yet you say, 'Who touched me?'" So I just think it's cool because God really noticed that someone touched him. Like,
Well, see, here's the thing I think deeper about is that he knew.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He knew who it was.
Yeah, he knew who it was.
So why did he ask the question?
Exactly.
I think that, like you said, why did he ask the question? I almost think of it as like a faith thing for the person.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's your take on it, but like,
Yeah.
but God knows who reached out. But it was like you had the faith to believe that I was going to heal you by reaching out and touching me. So like, audibly tell like.
Yeah, have
admit
the faith to put yourself forward.
Yeah.
like us, if Christ has touched us or we have touched God
Yeah.
and had an experience with God, are we now going to acknowledge?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I just
for sure.
we just took your question.
Yeah.
And made it
So yeah,
a lot deeper.
I was gonna say a lot of that, but
He was going for it.
So yeah,
right.
in the end though, he does kind of. So he asked who did it, and this woman thinks that he's mad, and he comes to her trembling, and he says that it was her, and he says, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." So yeah, it is a faith thing, and he was asking her this question to get her to like be aware of that, I guess. So
Yeah, to acknowledge it, to put it
acknowledge
out
her
there.
faith.
It's not that we just want to be touched by God. We want to proclaim His goodness, proclaim the fact that what He's done in our
Proclaim
life
the
is
name.
valuable.
Yeah.
I
So,
really,
yeah.
I like that one a lot, Ryan. That was a very clever approach.
Yeah.
Well, that was a you sniped that one.
Yeah.
I like the imagery of like the crowded area and like how there was that one person who touched Jesus like with like she was like reaching out.
Yeah.
And I think that, like if you take that to where our position to where we're in a world of so much chaos and we can half-heartedly lift something up, but if you really repent, if you have really true repentance, we are that lady that reached out, and Jesus really in heaven is like among the millions, billions, however many people on earth,
Yeah.
like someone he recognizes, he spots you specifically and knows like what do you need, that touch.
Chances are He was being touched the whole time.
Yeah.
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 Large
exactly.
crowd, and
Yeah,
people
yeah.
were bumping into Him and stuff. But He knew when somebody was reaching out for
Yeah.
the right reason.
Yeah.
And I think one last like cool thing about that, not even just like the faith aspect we talked about. I just think it's so amazing to think about how he said like he felt the power, like the healing like go through him. Like how amazing is it that like he wasn't going out of his way initially to like heal the person, but he's so like God is so amazing and so powerful that like with that faith and reaching out, it just like flowed through him and healed
Yeah.
her. Like that's just kind of cool to me.
I'll talk about mine really fast. This one is, "But who do you say that I am?" from Matthew 16:15. And good grief, you did a whole sermon series on this, right? So talking about this here is just scratching the surface, but we really need to think of as believers is how are we perceiving, or how are we explaining Jesus to others? How are we talking about Jesus? How are we, living our lives to proclaim His name? It's really important to think about that question that Jesus asked, is that he knew that people were talking about Him, but He asked that question specifically as, I know that my name is not really the perfect name out there, but like, how are you perceiving it? Are you trusting me enough to tell other people amongst the storm that we're in right now? Do you have the faith to talk about me? I really like that. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it right there.
Well, and another thing too with that is for us to kind of, do we see Him as like a vending machine, like we go to Him and ask what we want? Do we see Him as someone that's a nice guy, has all the knowledge, or is He our Savior?
Yeah.
Is He our Lord?
Yeah.
That's a question we all need to ask ourselves.
That's all I had.
Mine is one that really hits me a lot of times when I think about questions that Jesus asked. And this was when He was at Simon's house and eating a meal, and this lady comes in and just kind of is crying, wipes her feet uses her hair to wipe His feet, and her tears are cleaning His feet by her just worshiping Him. And Jesus is reclined at the table, so His feet are out and behind Him. And he turns to Simon, and he asks this question: "Do you see this woman? I came to your house, and you did not give me any water for my feet, but she has wet my feet with her tears and wiped them with her hair." And so that was Luke chapter 7, verse 44. And so one of the things that I think about, because they were already talking about this woman when she came into the place and came into this room where they were eating, and they knew that she was a prostitute. They knew she was not a very good woman. And they were like, oh, if he knew who this person was, that they would, he wouldn't have anything to do with her. Well, I just find it interesting he asked this question to Simon, because Simon's not really noticing her as a person. And I think it's so many people that we just kind of go through daily life and we kind of see that they're there, but we don't really see them as a person.
Yeah.
How many people do we really take notice that when you go through, like, one of the things here locally is a toll booth on a bridge. How many times do we actually just look at the person and kind of get to know them as a person, recognize them as a person, or do we just give them our ticket and just move on?
You'd hold up traffic.
How many times do we actually? Well, I just think about, do I take a moment to pray for them? Do I take a moment to
for sure
to just say hey, and I usually try to thank them. How many times do we go to a restaurant and we treat the waitress or waiter with respect, or sometimes we think of people as like they're not worth our time or we don't care, and I think Jesus is saying, do you really notice people?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. Yeah. So
What
there's
a blur.
there's the episode.
Yeah, I think we're an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was a long one. But
special word.
Special word.
yeah, I was just about to get to that.
Hopefully someone didn't.
What do you guys think it should be?
I think it should be
App.
Aquafa. What is your water?
Aquafina.
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 I was thinking 4 for 4
How
because
about,
we talked about that
how
for
about
a
you
while.
version?
You version.
Well, we need to pick one because you just said 4.
Larry, you're 4 for 4.
Let's make it 4 for 4. That's fun.
Yeah, 4 for 4 is
Wait.
the word of the day.
How do we
It's
want to
the phrase
spell
of the
that? I
day.
think they should have to spell it the right way.
I don't think.
No,
really
it should be the word and then the number 4 and then the word again.
Okay.
I like that.
4,
so
4,
it's
4.
inverted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that.
That's it. That's it. 4
Yeah,
4, however
yeah.
you want it.
Yeah, just however you want to do 4 for 4. It could be 4 forwards in a row, or it could be 4
No, it's
FOR,
it's
FOR,
4,
FOR.
and FOR, and then 4.
I'm just saying, it doesn't matter. Whoever does
The
it first
number 4.
wins. So that's the secret word.
Or
But
it
that's
could
the
be in
episode.
Greek.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you
listening.
guys. Shout out again to Sharon for winning the last word of the day. We'll get you something special. But yeah, peace.
Bye, guys.
Later.